Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting podcast with our new little intro there already built in like that. Sometimes it's added after the fact. Today, it was not. Happy Tuesday, October 22nd. It is Tuesday. That means Chip Chirimbes, Matt Fargo, and me, Sean Higgs, coming at you here. Before we get to some college football free picks today, do us all a solid. Hit the like button. Notification bells on. YouTube channel, social media feeds. We got you covered here. gamblersWORLD.net is our sponsor. These are free pick videos. We win some, we lose some. We try to win more than others. The premium stuff is our best bets, our best plays. They are up at gamblersWORLD.net. Daily packages, weekly packages, monthly packages. We have a early bird NBA because the NBA does start tonight. We talked about that yesterday with Doug and Chip and myself. A couple totals we talked about. The early bird package is up $7.99. We also have a World Series package because there's a baseball game between two teams that nobody thought were going to get here this year, the Dodgers and the Yankees. A couple underrated squads. They didn't even get to their win totals this year, folks. I mean, so we got Underdog City starting Friday night. $99 for the World Series package. You can't beat that because I'm sure these gentlemen and myself, I know we don't sell our packages for our daily picks for $5. So we're gonna have more than one pick in that series. It pays for itself after like 3 games. So get that $99. 3 738 packages are guaranteed. We show you a profit or we credit you back and you go at it again. But let's be honest, a 3-day, a 7-day, or a monthly package, you're gonna make money with us three. Doug, Mark, Victor, Ricky Tran, whoever, Kyle Hunter, you're going to make money over a 30-day period with any of us. We have a leaderboard. Check that out. All right. Enough is selling you on our premium stuff. I think our free picks speak for themselves. We do cash more than we lose here. Monday Night Football last night, a doubleheader, a wild game. High scoring, and then we had a snooze fest. But hey, whatever. I don't care. I'll take a 2-0 day. I needed one in the in NFL. Finally, a nice winning week for me there. But gentlemen, college football. How was your weekend? I'm going to start with Matt Fargo today, Chip, because we talked yesterday. I saw yesterday, so it's been a week for Matt. So I want to know how he did this weekend and what he got on tap. We do have, last week I was with Matt. We're talking about Degenerate Crazy Tuesday because we had these Conference USA games and. Here comes MAC action and Sunbelt and whoever smaller conferences during the week. So, Matt, how did your Degenerate Tuesday go last week and your overall weekend with NFL college football?
Degenerate Tuesday was a good one for sure. The weekend wasn't great. Honestly, it wasn't. There were some close losses and just I don't want to say bad beats. I'm not a believer in that, but just having the Packers, -3, they win by 2. Having Cleveland plus 6.5, lose by 7. So it happens. Whatever. Last night was crazy. Tampa coming out strong, and then Baltimore. I want to say Detroit's probably the best team in the NFL right now, but Baltimore is right there.
I got a Baltimore future for the Super Bowl. I thought they.
I have a Detroit future for the Super Bowl, so we're butting heads there. But man, both these teams look really good right now, and I don't know who can challenge. You see Kansas City 6-0. Are they really a good 6-0 team? I don't think so.
Well, the scary thing with that is that they're 6-0, not playing remotely close to good football.
Right. And Mahomes was talking about when our offense finally gets together, and if it does, yeah, look out.
Yeah. Chip, Matt mentioned Detroit, finally a good adder because it kind of started out a little sloppy versus the Rams. They lost to that Tampa team at home, 2013 in Arizona, although maybe Arizona does sort of have a defense, but though I really counted against the Chargers to put up 17 points a game. But, real fast, again, let's see how you did last night and what we have going forward, but we just talked about the Chiefs briefly. 6-0 could easily be 2 wins, right? I mean, they manhandled the Niners, but before that, you had a ugly game versus a beat-up Charger team. The toe game, Cincinnati could have beat you. You tackled the guy in the end zone against Atlanta. You got away with one. If they start playing well, it's like, geez. Andy Reid, great coach, Hall of Fame coach. Mahomes, they are dangerous.
They're about to go undefeated the way they're playing. If they're scripting by and no one's looking at them, all I keep hearing is how Kansas City's not there. Kansas City's not there. Kansas City's not there. And yet Kansas City keeps winning. I'm only kidding about them going undefeated. I think that should be quite a feat. And I don't think they're capable of it, really. But, this Goff is unbelievable. The ball doesn't hit the ground when he passes it. He was 18 for 18 one game. He started 11 for 11. I think it was the last time out. But it's always good to win on a Monday night, outright winner with Arizona. Sort of like helps heal the wounds from Sunday, which, by the way, Matt, I also used Cleveland. And, boy, it was heartbreaking because we should have won that game outright. Never mind covering the spread, losing by 7. But missed extra points. And, of course, once Watson went down, he was having his best game of in recent years anyway, and then he went untouched. So you can have Cleveland the rest of the year because I know this quarterback Robinson from UCLA is absolutely horrible. One of the worst I've ever seen. He matches Josh Johnson. Or Josh Johnson?
I think he's still on the Niners roster.
Oh, yeah. He's still playing, really? No, that's funny. It is Josh Johnson, though. You're right.
18 years, a journeyman.
He was 15 to 17 before he got hurt. I had the under in that game because I felt either way. I wasn't just – I did like Cleveland with the points there, but I was like, you know what? Until I see them score more than 17 points, I got to go under.
Oh, it's hard.
Like you said, he was having his best game, and he got booed off the field when he got hurt, which I think is – he's a horrible human being, don't get me wrong. But, man, as fans, you don't root for somebody to get hurt like that. And they're
people rooted against Santa Claus, all right? People are just wacky.
Yeah.
You mentioned Goff. I read somewhere he has more. The Lions have more touchdowns, 18, than he has incompletes the last couple of weeks, 15. I do have a Goff MVP. I just pulled it up here on one of my offshores, my flash site here. Hundo to win 1,800. I took a shot on. So, because I'm with you, I think they were the team to kind of take a step forward and move on to we're going to the Super Bowl, right? Because I mean, everybody's kind of the Niners are always there, but I feel like the Niners have kind of hit a peak. Like how many times you get to the Super Bowl and lose, the championship games and lose? I think the coach cost them some games. And everyone else was kind of below them. I thought Green Bay is a good team. I wasn't sure what to get out of Minnesota, although I do have a O'Connell Coach of the Year here for a 20-1 ticket for, again, $100. But I think the Lions are the top team in the NFC. I want to put Green Bay or Minnesota after them. But then who else do you love out of the NFC besides Detroit? I'm with you on Detroit to get to the Super Bowl, where I think the AFC is a little more you got to battle because Kansas City is Kansas City. You can just they got home fields, right? I mean, they beat Baltimore. They pretty much got home fields wrapped up here. They'll be where they got to be. And then you got the Bills in Baltimore. I don't really think anybody else. I mean, those three teams are the top. Who's the NFC is kind of ho-hum.
Looking at the NFC right now, I think it's the NFC North or nothing. Honestly,
right?
Like I'll even put the Bears in the mix. I don't know how good can they be. I don't know. Williams has progressed every game he's been playing in, and below that, the South Division sucks. Tampa Bay's done now. Goodwin out or Godwin out, and Evans hurt. Who knows what's going to happen there?
Yeah,
that division's toast. Niners are hurt now. The Eagles, they're not right. So, Bobby, is Washington? Can Washington contend? Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's NFC North. Top three teams in that division. I think are the top three teams in the NFC right now.
I think it's kind of interesting that the most intriguing game to me this weekend, it's got two rookie quarterbacks going.
Yep.
You got Khalid for Chicago and this, Daniels for Washington, and he's outrageous. So, both of them might be great. And this is their first, I guess, of their head-to-head meetings. And we might be talking about the way you used to talk about Manning meeting up against Brady and the matchups they had with Rivers all those years where they just seem to be playing each other year in and year out. And this may be happening with these two if they develop.
You have Daniels is questionable with the rib. So that line went from they were a -1 favorite. I thought they're now a dog now, believe it or not, in that matchup against the Bears. I saw them as an underdog with the questionable. They are 2.5-point underdogs. So they went from a 1.5, 2-point fave. So I guess they're thinking he doesn't play. That would be my look to that, which stinks because – one, I've been anti-Bear the entire season. I'm like, the season was like 9.5 totals. I'm like, I said 5 to 8 wins tops for them. Now I thought they could lose both of these games. Now you have Marcus Mariota. Again, that guy was a number one pick. What happened? We talk about quarterbacks all the time. Like, what could have been? Like, that guy was a top pick in the draft. Where's he at? Is that his, what, fourth team? Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, the thing with that is, like, granted, they're playing Carolina, right? So you can't really look too much into this performance, but kudos to Cliff Kingsbury. Like, as a head coach, not very good, but I think he's one of the best coordinators of the last 2 decades. Like, you put Mariota in after just a few years from Daniels, and he puts up a 132 passer rating. Granted, again, against the Panthers, but still, like, I think the culture with this team is different now, and I don't know. Like, I hope Daniels does play this game because it'd be a great matchup. It'd be very intriguing between these two guys, these two rookies. But I think Washington has it, even if he's out a week or two. You know,
it is. It's the old 1-2, right? Top pick, second pick. Washington. I don't like the Bears head coach Eberflus. I think he's terrible. But we've talked. We covered NFL, but we're actually doing college football today, and we're going to start with Chip in the Mountain West championship game rematch. Boise and UNLV. Barry Odom doing a good job with UNLV. Can't really knock out how good they are. 3-point spread, 66.5. The total here. I think Boise has a running back that people like. I don't know. I never heard of him. Is he any good? Is he a good running back?
He's small. I'll tell you that. He's very fast. And after he gains 3,000 yards this year, we'll wonder if he even has a chance in the NFL. But this Boise game should be really a high-scoring game. And Barry Odom has done such a job, like you said, Sean. UNLV, this is their biggest game since I've been out in Las Vegas, and I moved out here in the late 80s because they played bowl games, but now they're playing Boise. Now, Boise's got the credibility nationwide that UNLV is striving for. They just broke into the top 25 for the first time in decades. And they're at 6-1. They're 5-2 against the number. Boise is 3-2-1 against the number. Boise has beaten UNLV to 6 straight times, but they've only covered once. And UNLV has gotten the money against them for the most part. This line seems awful shallow to me, but what's not shallow is at 66.5. And let me give you a couple of stats. Boise's averaging 290 yards a game on the ground and 523 yards altogether. UNLV's up over 440 yards per game. Both these teams have prolific offenses that are scoring, and I don't see how this game stays under the total. I really don't. You can name individual players, receivers, or running backs, but it's a team thing here where these teams just put up points. And UNLV's been putting up a lot of points defensively. They've intercepted a number of balls, and they've put themselves in good position. So I think this game goes over the total.
Over 66.5 from Chip Chirimbes. I can't disagree. I mean, UNLV in the last couple of games, 33-25, 50-34, 44-41. I mean, 59 they put up in Fresno. They can score, and Boise can score a 40 spot as themselves. But I'm with you on kind of like the short number, where it's kind of like you want to just jump onto Boise. They're, better. They've been kind of building that Group 5 talent and a little depth more than UNLV has. But at a 3, it's like
it's hard to accept in our head. How good can UNLV actually be? I mean, we've seen this Boise State team beat Oklahoma in the bowl game, and UNLV got beat by Howard University 2 years ago. So trying to accept the fact that they've improved that much is kind of difficult. It's you have to prove it to me first.
This is your Friday night 10:30 game, Friday football action, folks.
And just to add a snippet in there, like collectively they've had 4 games with a total of 65 or more, and all 4 have gone over. So don't be afraid of the big number. I agree with Chip on that.
5-2 ATS for UNLV as well here. Man, I'm maybe just leaning into taking UNLV myself here on a Friday night home doggy there. Now, we got another Friday night game. This is a 7:30 game for Matt Fargo here. Louisville, Boston College. I think last week I took BC here in our show, Matt. It was a loser. They got out 28-0. They battled back in the third quarter, 2021. Was not meant to be. They're catching 7 from Louisville off a high-scoring game themselves versus the Miami Hurricanes. 53.5 is the total. Your thoughts? Louisville, BC, Friday night.
Yeah, I'm liking the underdog here. Like you said, like Virginia Tech put up I think it was 368 yards rushing against the Eagles, and you're not going to win many games doing that. I don't think Louisville has the offense to do that. They're, middle of the road in rushing offense. So, BC comes home after 2 straight losses. They're 3-0 at home. Their defense is still pretty solid. And the one thing I think is a big factor here is the BC quarterback, Castellanos. He's kind of a dual threat. He hasn't put up many rushing yards this year after putting up over 1,100 yards on the ground last year. And Louisville has struggled against dual threat quarterbacks this year. So I think with that, the offense can pick it up a little bit. And with their defense, they allowed their most points last week. But part of that, they didn't allow more than 27 points in any of their last 5 games. So I think if they don't allow that again, I think the cover is there for BC. I think Louisville just can't be trusted right now. The last 4 games have been decided by 1 possession. They're 0-4 the last 4 ATS, which is the same as BC as well. So one of those is going to change. But I just can't trust this Louisville team right now. They've played some really, really tight games and have, been losing out 3 of the last 4. And at 4-3, I just think they're not the team to be laying this kind of number on the road. So I'm on BC at home plus a touchdown.
BC +7, official pick here. Matt Fargo, Friday night 7:30 game. Chip, anything on this BC Louisville game?
We're saying Louisville's a touchdown favorite on the road here, and BC has shown they can come up and bite you. I mean, they beat Georgia Tech, I believe, here earlier in the year. But Louisville has been one of these teams. Matt, I don't know if you've followed them that closely, but it just seems like the bookmakers totally overrated them the entire season with the numbers they've been put out. And I was drawn into them one time, and because of the number, and they won a game and covered where they were outplayed the entire game. It was just totally lucky that they got in. And so I don't trust them, like you said, as well. And it's tough to trust Boston College when they're giving up those kind of yards against Virginia Tech. We had the Hokies last week in that game, but I find it very tough to take Boston College here, and yet I'm not going to lay this Louisville team. So, but if push comes to shove, I'm going to take the points as opposed to laying it. So I would also be with the Eagles.
I agree. We'll make it a trifecta here, taking BC. You're also off a game. You gave up a bunch of rushing yards, 3 fumble loss. Kind of hurt. You had one. It was 28-21. They scored, and then you turned it right over. They scored right after that to really put the nail in the coffin, so to speak, and all your battling back is out of the way. And you mentioned, like Louisville, Austin Peay, Jacksonville State, Georgia Tech to start the year, nice wins. You lose at Notre Dame, a kind of tough battle, right? I mean, 31-24, you're battling. You came home and lost as a favorite to SMU. All right? You beat Virginia, and this is what I think is going to happen here. You just played Miami in another game, sort of like the Notre Dame game, right? You're kind of up for a bigger foe. Now you're on the road as a touchdown favorite. Now, listen, you're not expecting a lot out of BC. They haven't – I mean, who's their signature win? Michigan – I'm looking at their thing. Michigan State, and they played Missouri close. But at home, you're telling me they're going to be a 12-point favorite, 10, 11, 12 points over this team? I would take BC in that spot as well. I think this is a big number, especially, you got Bill O'Brien, an NFL guy, NFL. He's one where he's like, we got to clean up the mistakes. So they're going to emphasize on holding on to the ball. Let's get back to our in the trench kind of play and slow things down, although Louisville's going to throw more with Shiloh. But I'm with you. Give me the points here with the touchdown here with Boston College over Louisville. So Boston College +7 for Matt, over UNLV Boise for Chip. And I'm looking at the old home state school, Rutgers, traveling out to USC. Listen, good Big Ten matchup. This is what these teams do. They face each other every year. A lot of great battles over the last 15 years in the Big Ten between these two schools. That's true. This is USC. So they're a 14.5-point favorite, total 56. We got the scroll coming around here. These guys break up the Pac-12 to go and join the Big Ten to lose at Maryland. That's what you guys want to do? Hey, let's join this. And Lincoln Riley has single-handedly destroyed the Big 12 and the Big 10 with his nonsense, and the Pac-12, everything. He just take, that's another show. We'll talk about him in a second. Let's talk about the hot seat that'll turn into a raging inferno if they somehow do not win this game. I mean, Maryland up 17 against Minnesota. You blow that lead. Penn State 33-30. What is going on here? Look at these games. Where is the defense? You open up with a nice win at LSU, and it's downhill. Utah State. Then Michigan. You should have beat Michigan. 30 yards passing. You blow that game. What those schools have, and even Minnesota, that Rutgers doesn't have, is any kind of quarterback play. And Michigan's bad. At least it's Michigan. You got 5-star players across the board and NFL guys. If Rutgers had any kind of quarterback, I'd be interested in 14.5 points here. And much like a 7.5 or 3.5, I'm always going to lean towards the favorites because I don't get fooled by it. Like, oh, look at this. I get the extra hook. That is there to tease you. And most people say, no, you take that. I'm opposite that in my thinking. 2.5, 6.5, 13.5, I'll be taking dogs to win outright. I'm going to lay the 14.5 with UNLV, with USC. I got UNLV in my head. Thanks, Chip. We take that short number with 3. I have a quarterback and a coach who just coaches up quarterbacks to Heisman-type levels. Rutgers, we've seen them come on the road, and even at home. What did they lose? 41-7. 14-7 in Nebraska. Wisconsin, 42-7. USC, for all intents and purposes, this is their season. Because if they somehow don't put up a good fight here, because Rutgers is still Rutgers. They can win some at home, get a bowl game at 6-6 or 7-6 or some nonsense like this. This is not in their wheelhouse to go to USC. USC is still USC. They still have their NFL-type talent. And, again, back to the coach, you need this win. They ran out other guys for having more wins than you. You better beat a Rutgers team on the road who just got smoked by Whiskey, who are they a middle tier kind of team in the Big Ten? I'm laying a 14.5. USC, and back to USC's defense. They bought in the UCLA guy because their defense was atrocious. I mean, Caleb Williams, he went from a Heisman guy to a terrible quarterback last year with that defense, losing games 42-38 or whatever. Where's this defense at? The good thing is that Rutgers, they're just going to run the ball. Their quarterback play is atrocious. USC, to me, I think this got to be a wrap for them. They really got to get to the 40s here just for nil and alumni and just getting the fan base back behind you the way they've started the season. A terrible season, even just a terrible run again by the coach that's another show. We'll talk about him. I'm taking USC minus 14.5 in a must-win spot. You could laugh. I think it is just for everything about the team. Matt.
You mentioned at the very beginning that it could be a loss. We'll put Riley or looking around the hot seat. I think he's already there. Like you said, this is a must-win. You look at the 14.5. When I first saw him, like, that's a big number. I don't know if I want to lay that with USC with this defense. Compared to last year, the defense is better. It's not great. Don't get me wrong. The loss to Maryland was like, how do you do that?
Up 21-7. 21-7 at the half, you're up.
Right. And the thing with the Big Ten right now is with the new West Coast teams coming in, the travel going east is hard. It's really hard. And, what is USC 0-3 on the road now because they've gone to Michigan, Penn State, and Maryland. Now they're back home. A little bit of comfort going on. And, the Rutgers quarterback, the kid from Minnesota, I was reading, publications in the preseason like, oh, it's an upgrade. He stinks. He's not very good.
Well, for Rutgers, it's an upgrade.
Well, that's a good point, I guess. That's a good point. But, you lose to UCLA at home. UCLA is garbage this year. Garbage. Yes. And so.
Think about losing to them. Losing to them, one thing. You gave up 35 points to a team that's not scoring.
Exactly. So, yeah, give only 3 of the last 3. I mean, they were playing well. They beat Washington, which is a game they very well could have lost. They beat Virginia Tech, another game they very well could have lost. So they had a couple swing wins, and now I think they're showing their true side. And don't be afraid by the number. I agree with you on this one.
Yep. Chip.
Well, you're talking about the University of New Jersey now. Come on. it represents the entire state. I would tell you, there are a lot of friends of mine back east that really liked Rutgers last week, and they really thought they were in a good spot to overcome this weak Bruin team, this UCLA team. Like you said, Matt, they're the worst I've ever seen. I mean, honestly, overall, I haven't seen a UCLA team this bad. And I was expecting Rutgers to show up. They didn't show up. So now they're going out to L.A., and I'm looking for the flip-flop. I'm looking for them to play tough and keep it close because of the way they were embarrassed last week. One of the big problems with USC this year, we're looking at these numbers. They're putting up offensive numbers, but they turned the ball over 12 times in 7 games. And that's clue. That really thwarts you completely. And that's their main issue right now, I think, is turning the ball over. But I would not play this game. I passed on Rutgers last week, even though I thought they were the side. They got annihilated. Maybe they come back this week with a backdoor cover. I think they have to really try and put it together. I mean, they just got annihilated at home by one of the weakest teams from the West Coast, this UCLA. So I wouldn't play it. I wouldn't use it. But I would take Rutgers just because of the way they performed last week so poorly.
So USC scores this year, 6 points scored, 16, 13, 17, 13, 11, 17. On the road to New Jersey, 35 points. Now, I'm laying a 14.5.
Okay.
We're laying it. It'll probably be a premium play. If you see a Friday night game, folks, you don't have to buy mine because I'm probably going to be on UNLV, and I'm going to be taking USC here. So save yourself the $34.99 and buy a Saturday game or something. I don't know what to tell you. There we go. USC is for me minus 14.5. Chip Chirimbes likes UNLV Boise over 66.5. Matt Fargo on the Boston College Eagles plus the touchdown. Again, these are free picks today. Here we go. Everyday free picks on Winner Circle. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Me, Chip, Matt, Brian Biller, Doug Upstone. Chip on Friday and Saturday rolls out videos with Paul Bovey and Jim Feist with NFL picks. Friday Football Live, me, Victor King, Mark Lawrence. Monday Night Live, no one's come in. Not that I'm throwing out Matt and Victor under the bus on a show here where they get their faces where I say you haven't come in to see me on a Monday night. But I'll be there, I swear. Only Doug Upstone's come in for 5 minutes so far. That's all right. Listen, we do a Monday night show if anybody's watching. And I believe that on Fridays, we're going to start running a contest. It'll be like a $50 contest. You come in with a little 3-teamer. We're working on something. And then depending how the person does, and it's a live show. So you got to be there live. You don't come in after in the comments section. No, we're trying to get people live because it's a give and take back and forth Friday show. Then you come in Monday. We announce a winner. You got to be there but you can't. If you're not there on Monday, I don't know. You're not going to get your $50 or $100 or whatever we end up giving away. Cash money. All right, cash money. No Dogecoin or crazy stuff. It'll be American dollars. Although maybe people would rather have some crypto. I'm not a crypto guy. I don't know why I went off onto a crypto thing there. Anyway, listen, gamblersworld.net, 3 738 packages guaranteed. All of our plays up. Chip, what do you got going on? The NBA does start tonight. Are you jumping headfirst into the NBA?
I have a single play tonight, and I'm known for getting off fast in the NBA because it seems that the numbers are a little bit weaker earlier in the season. And, each and every day we're pounding it out here. Baseball is over. Friday starts the World Series, but we're really looking for a big weekend. I think I have a huge game on Saturday. I'm going to call it my game of the year already. I know where I'm going with it. And, just waiting for everyone to log on and buy this big-time winner.
Head over to gamblersworld.net. Get on board with Chip Chirimbes. NBA, nothing but action. Here he is. He's attacking the rim already, going to the hoop. Matt Fargo.
Degenerate College Football Tuesday. Higgsy.
There you
Gotta
go.
Do it. Got a good play. Got a solid play going.
Football. We got
and yeah, NBA opening night. We talked about this last week about how the NBA is becoming a really tough league to handicap because you don't know who's playing. And as Chip just said, the Lions are, I think, soft at this point, and we kind of know who's playing. So I think it's easier to jump on the NBA now, get a long-term pass and continue this all the way through the Super Bowl. Football, we still have a half season left. Let's get it going. Let's just finish the season great.
There you go. Final Matt's picks over at gamblersworld.net. Chip Chirimbes, NBA tonight, Matt Fargo, college football. I've have nothing on tonight's ticket, but I'm ready to load up a Thursday NFL So that'll be probably coming up today or tomorrow. And I have games loaded up. I just don't have the packages up for Saturday and Sunday college and NFL football. Again, all the premium stuff at gamblersworld.net. Free picks here on the Winner Circle channel. Like buttons, notification bells, leave a comment, thoughts, prayers on the picks, whatever you want to do. We'll be back tomorrow. Me, Chip, Brian Bittler. More college. I think we have more college football for tomorrow for you. NFL Thursday with me, Chip, and Doug. That's it for Tuesday. Gentlemen, good luck tonight. See everybody tomorrow. Bye-bye now.